Hi everyone, my name's Danika. Welcome back to my channel. If you want to see how I got this ultra glam pink smoky cut crease, then please keep watching. Okay, before we start, just to let you guys know that I'm still a little bit ill, so apologies if I still sound nasally and like an overweight old man. It's just this bloody cold won't go. But anywho, let's get into it. I'm just going to take again my NYX Precision Brow Pencil in the shade Ash Brown. So I've discovered this pencil literally 7-8 months now, maybe. No, probably even longer than that. I haven't reached for anything else. I was always using the Anastasia or the Benefit, but this is same product but half the price. Just brush the hairs, just like that. And then I just want to start to ever so lightly fill it in. I'm not going to go for anything crazy. If you have sparser brows or thinner brows, then you might want to spend a little bit more time on this. Then I'm just going to bring the towel down ever so slightly to elongate it. I really want to get my eyebrows done, like threaded or something, but every time I get them done, they always... Like, I'm convinced that that hole came from a threading lady and now it won't go back. But I do pluck them myself, but you know when you just feel like you don't get that proper straight edge, but I'm just too scared. Just going to brush those hairs. And now when we go to the front, I want to be a little bit lighter handed, so there's not so much product. We want it to be like a gradient eyebrow. So I'm just flicking the pencil up in the directions of the hair just to get rid of that little gap, and then I'm going to distribute the product throughout the brow. And I'm probably going to leave it like that now, and then if we feel like we need to come back to it later, we'll do so then. Now I'm going to take the Plouise base in the shade 02 Rumour and start to set my lid and also carve out my brow. To carve out the brow, I like to take the concealer brush. This one's from MAC, don't worry, I will list everything below. And I like to use the whole side of the brush. Keep going back and forward until you get it nice and straight. If you just use it like that, then you can see that there's such a smaller amount of surface area. So if you turn your brush on its side, you use the whole brush, you should get a better result. But the days vary, like some days I can, oh see look, I just cropped that up. Some days I can smash it out real quick, other days if I've had a coffee or I'm a little bit distracted, not really too well, so just bring that out like that. Oh, day 2 of eating healthy. I'm drinking aloe vera juice. It's fucking horrible. Literally the worst thing I've ever drunk. Okay, so that's obviously by no means the straightest line I've ever done, but we'll come back to it later. So we're going to take this concealer buffer brush from Zoeva, start to blend this into the skin, just so there's no sharp edges. The eyebrow's terrible. Okay, I'm not really sure what I want to do today. I think I want to do something pinky, but then also like sparkly and quite girly. So I'm going to use the Plouise Secret Sinner palette, and the first shade I'm going to pick up is Love Shy. Just taking this tiny little Sigma brush, and I'm going to start to map out where I want the shade to go. I think I'm going to do the dreaded cut crease today. I say dreaded just because whenever you're on camera, everything goes to pot. Or is it to pop? To pot, whatevs. So pushing that product in, picking up each time. Just going to dip back in a few times, and then we're not wiggling the brush, we're not doing circular motions, we're literally just placing that product where we want the cut crease to go. So you can see, if I look like that, you can see my natural creases there, but because I've got slightly hooded eyes, I have a lot of lid space up here, so I want to utilise that space. If I just done it here, that when I opened my eyes, you can see that I don't have a lot of room for the nice shimmery shade to go. So this technique will not only let you see more shadow, but it'll make your eyes appear much bigger. Love this colour though, it's got well nice purpley undertones in it. Wiggle that in here. This bit can be quite hard because I've got a lot of creases here, so I'm just going to give it a nice little wiggle to iron them out slightly. Now I'm just going to go back in quite a few times to really up the opacity. When I get to this stage, I just want to use an even lighter hand with hardly any product on, just because we want to be a little bit more strategic with the placement. And then once you're happy, you can then intensify it. Okay, I'm just going to take my hand, dust off the excess, same brush again, ever so lightly diffuse that edge. We just want to soften it a little bit in preparation for the next bit. Now I'm going to take a clean Sigma brush, and this one is the E25, and just soften that edge even further. You could be a bit more liberal with it now. Okay, we're going to switch back to the first blending brush that we used, and we're going to pick up the shade In Lust, tap off the excess, and then start to push this in slightly higher than that initial shade. Again, you want to be quite delicate here. Then we're switching back to our clean brush again. And we're just going over what we just done. Okay, the final shade that I'm going to grab for our transition is Amour. I've just picked that up with a large Sigma blending brush. I'm just dusting this right in the upper part of the eyelid. I bloody love this palette. I think it's got the right amount of browns and also the right amount of like pops of colour. Don't you hate it when you get a palette and it's got like 3 browns and 10 bright colours and you think, well, I'm not really going to be able to create as many looks with that. And also I can really appreciate a palette that's all matte. I don't get on well with pressed pigments, like very rarely, like the Anastasia Beverly Hills palettes with the pigments in it, stunning. But most of the others, it's just kind of lackluster for me. I prefer to buy an actual loose pigment and then pack it on, and there's so much more colour payoff. So yeah, an all matte palette is the one. Okay, now I'm going to go in with the previous shade In Lust, but I'm going to grab it on that brush now. I tapped off the excess. Then blend this up a little bit higher, and now we're doing little wiggling circular motions. I hope this don't stain my eye. Oh my god, I'm going to see a medium later. I am so excited. I booked it like 3 months ago, and my friend was proper raving about her. She's meant to be sick, so I better not go with pink eyes. Grab that brush again. Just go over what we just did. You can even pick up a little bit more of that Amour if you feel like we've lost it a bit. Okay, lastly, I just want to build up the intensity of this dark bit here. So I'm going to take Love Shy on that brush. I love Sigma brushes, I really recommend them. All 3 brushes that I'm using today come from the Extravaganza set. So it's pricey, I think it's probably around £200–300 for not so many brushes, but they will last you years and you can get a whole look done with them. You won't be needing to buy anything else. It's the second set that I've bought and they've just got me through my career, basically. I hate Morphe brushes. Like, I don't know, I feel like it's such an Instagram trend. Like, they shed like a fucking dog. And just because someone like Jaclyn Hill and Jeffree Star endorses them, people think they must be good. But for the money, I'd rather put that towards a decent brush and it will last you longer, you know? You totally get what you pay for. Then there's brands like Zoeva, who are probably on par with Morphe, maybe a little bit dearer, that are brilliant. Don't know. Don't get the hype. Okay, so I'm going to begin to cut the crease, taking the previous brush with a bit more of that base on. At first I'm just going to lay this colour down, just where my natural crease is, and then look up, you can see where it would transfer. So we're going to go higher than that. My nan better come through today with this medium, otherwise I'm going to be pissed. I'll be like, what are you doing that is so important that you can't come see your granddaughter? No, I'm joking. I am a little bit sceptical though. This is the first time I've ever gone to see one. And I'm not sure if I believe in it or not, so it'd be quite cool to see, because this lady is meant to be one of the best. So you just want to keep going back and forward until you've got the desired shape. And then when you get to this bit, I like to map out with where like you would do with an eyeliner. So I'll bring the product like that, and then I know that we need to join it. Bring the product quite far down just to clean up any shadow that might have dropped, but the fallout with this palette is nice. it's not in excess. But to be honest, fallout doesn't bother me too much. And like the base before, we just want to keep tapping over it to get it nice and tacky. When we get to this edge, you can see that it hasn't blended into the skin great. So we're just going to take a concealer brush and tap over just to make it blend into the skin. And because the shadows underneath are pink, it will turn the base a slight pinky tone. And if it doesn't for you, then what are you doing? What sort of sorcery is that? Because I want to know. I've seen people on Instagram and their base is just like normal skin shade and hasn't picked up any of the colour from underneath. Don't understand how it works, so please let me know. Maybe I'm overworking it and pushing too much in, I'm not sure. Okay, while that base is nice and sticky, we're going to take some Peaches pigment in the shade Pixie, just on a MAC brush, and we're pushing that into the base. Ah! Can you see that? Is that coming out on camera? I love this. I think this and Mermaid's best shades that they've got in these pigments are just bloody lovely. We're going to keep it here. We're going to concentrate it in this inner bit, and then we slowly want it to cascade into nothingness. So we're just really packing on that product. We want this to be ultra reflective here, and then when there's less on the brush, like now, then we can ever so lightly go over that crease. Now I'm going to add some more sparkle, and I'm going to take the Glitter Rush from Barry M in the shade Angel Wings, and I'm also going to take some white glitter from Certifeye and mix them both together. So I just grabbed some NYX glitter glue on the same brush that I used to pack on that Pixie pigment, and you don't want too much, just tap off the excess onto your hand and then lightly push that into where that pigment is. That Barry M glitter is the bomb, and I think it's like 2 for £7 and you get like so much. It's mad. Superdrugs and Boots and stuff, places like that, like drugstore makeup is proper up in its game. Like you don't need to go out now and buy Nyx Cosmetics glitters that cost shitloads of money, you know, when you've got the exact same ones that are eye friendly. So, picked up some of that glitter on that brush. Now we're going to pack that over the top. Well, no, that's stunning, isn't it? Now I'm just taking NYX Epic Ink Liner in black, and I'm going to just tight line my lash line on top. I don't think I'm going to do a wing today. This is purely to conceal the lash band. Okay, so doing liquid liner can be quite tricky over glitter. Like you don't seem to get such a flawless finish, but it doesn't matter, we're going to put lashes over the top anyway. So I'm just going to get rid of this excess underneath. So off camera I'm just going to curl my lashes and chuck on a little bit of mascara. Now I don't know if you can see, but yeah you can. That liner has started to bleed and it looks really messy there, so I'm just going to have to tidy that up. Just going to take a tiny little paintbrush with a little bit of that pigment on it. Not pigment, sorry, the Plouise base. I'm hoping this works. I don't know why that liner done that, it's never done that before. With the same brush, pack on that Pixie pigment and then the glitter like before. Moving on to eyelashes, I'm just going to grab the TL3 Lashes by Tatti Lashes. I've loaded these up with Duo Lash Glue and I'm just going to leave them to get nice and tacky. Okay, so I've probably left this eyelash now for about 2 minutes and now I'm going to begin to apply it. It helps if you look down into a mirror. So what I've done is I've stuck the middle. I'm then going to do the outer edge. And then the inner. Just going to take that liner and conceal that lash band. Because we have worn these before, the previous shadows are on them. I should have cleaned them, to be fair. Just so it's nice and dark. Right, I'm just going to take some black eyeliner, and this is by Barry M. So I'm just going to use some Tarte Shape Tape Concealer in the shade Light Medium Sand, and I'm going to begin to highlight under my eyes. I'm running out. It's just so dear for us in the UK. Like when I was in America, it cost like something silly like $20, which probably is the equivalent of like maybe £16–17. And over here they want like 25 quid plus shipping. But we will pay it, they know it, because it is the bollocks. But I'll still moan about it. Take your damp beauty sponge. Start to push this into the skin. I'm just going to pick up a tiny bit of that Kat Von D Lock-It powder and just push this to mattify under the eyes ever so slightly in case I get a bit of fallout. Then it'll be so hard to make budge. So I'm just going to grab Love Shy on a Sigma E15 flat definer, and I'm going to push this under the lash line. Now I'm taking the shade In Lust on a Spectrum A12 brush, and we're just placing this a little lower than we did the last shade. Then take our transition colour, Amour, and then we're just going to buff that out even further. Now I've just grabbed a Sigma E30 pencil brush with a little bit of that Pixie pigment, and I'm going to begin to highlight my inner tear duct. Don't pick up too much product because it will go everywhere. I thought it really hard to stop with this product. Put a little bit there. Lastly, I'm just going to put on some mascara, and this is the Smoky Eye Mascara from Bobbi Brown on my lower lashes, and also join my natural lashes to the fake ones. Okay, so off camera I just darkened underneath and I added a slight wing at the end just because I felt like it needed it. As promised before, everything that I've used today, including brushes and products, will be listed in the description bar below. So yeah, this is the finished look, and as always I've had so much fun creating it. And if you like this video, then please give me a little comment, give me a thumbs up, and make sure to subscribe. And in the future, if you have any special requests that you'd like me to create something, then please let me know and I'd love to do so. See ya!